Fans, big time game with big time rookies, and it went to the woman who looks like she's going to be the rookie of the year. Caitlin Clark and the Fever pick up this win, 93-86 in another hard-fought loss for the Sparks. I feel like I've been saying this every game almost, but it's what happens, it's what happened, and we got more here with LA Sparks Weekly. Yo, so we're here, Michael Matthew in the building, ready to talk about some LA Sparks basketball as Caitlin Clark goes crazy. 24, 10, and 10, the final rebound there late in the game. They knock off the Sparks. 93-86. I'm never alone, of course. I got the one and only DJ Tracy Treese, and she ain't feeling good.
Man, I was in here hollering again.
Yeah, in here hollering. I heard her from outside saying, hey, what are you doing? Do this, Kia Nurse.
Yeah.
Figure this out. Because once again, they couldn't close to try to take this win from the Fever. It happened, most of the season in a lot of their games. Because they don't get really blown out other than, what you had this weekend with the Dream on Sunday. But this game, they had every chance to get a win. They didn't make it happen. What went wrong for the Sparks tonight, DJ?
I think it's those uncontested shots at the basket. We had so many open layups that we smoked. I don't know what happened. If the distance, the court in Indianapolis is looking crazy. Maybe you can't really see where you at with it because we were just missing a lot of close shots. That last pass, I hate that. Listen, y'all, I hate that pocket pass in the paint.
Yeah.
It's so congested in the paint when De'Erica Hamby, Rakia Jackson, Ray Burrell's out there, Azare Stevens.
Especially you ain't making threes.
Scouting. They scouting them. So taking that risky pocket pass and just dropping the ball that low in the paint makes no sense to me. NaLyssa Smith was acting crazy on defense tonight.
So this game was about the rooks. You have Caitlin Clark, who is super mega star. You have Rakia, who is going to be number 3 when it comes to Rookie of the Year after Kaylin Angel. But Rakia only played 24 minutes, outplayed when it comes to minutes by Kia Nurse. So in the fourth quarter, she didn't play a lot there late. I wonder if anything happened. Maybe Coach might bring it up. But, like I mentioned, triple-double, 24, 10, 10 for Caitlin Clark. Only 5 points, 2 rebounds from Rakia. They made it tough for her. She was 2 for 11. What did you see from this performance from Rakia?
I think her shots just weren't falling tonight, and that's okay. You're going to have nights where your shot is not falling. I would have liked to see her play extended minutes, albeit because Coach has been saying, we're going to give her, she's been playing 30 minutes in every other game. Struggle. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to see. I think she would have gotten her bag in that fourth quarter. I'm not saying Kia Nurse didn't have a rock-solid game. Of course, I'm not throwing stones.
13 points.
She had a solid game, but chasing around Caitlin Clark is already hard. Everybody was kind of getting cooked a little bit on the defense there. So it's like you got to sub people out because it's a lot of work to chase her around them screens, double screens, and she doing a lot of pick and rolls.
And people don't realize, like, Indiana, just looking at the numbers here, they have a squad, man. Kelsey Mitchell doing what she do, 18-4, 24-14 for Aaliyah Boston. Like, they're a team that has figured it out, and they're starting to play their best basketball at the right time. Where a team like the Sparks, they can play with any team, and they can lose any team. And they lose again with this game.
I'd also like to point out, though, too, you said the Indiana Fever was a solid team. Absolutely. They tanked 8 seasons, y'all. They had 8 losing seasons, and that's how they got all these number one draft picks.
Some of them I don't think they tanked. They just weren't good.
They just weren't good. So they had 8 losing seasons back-to-back in order to build the squad that they have. So a lot of the Sparks fans that's out there talking about these couple seasons that we haven't made the playoffs, in 8 years, this is the first time in 8 years that the Indiana Fever have clinched the playoff.
And they're going to be a tough out. But looking at the Sparks today, Odyssey Sims back at it, hooping, 20 points, 6 assists. De'Erica, 16 and 7, 13 and 11 from Azare. Kia Nurse, 13 points, knocking down 3 threes. 3 threes also for Ray Burrell, who was 6 for 10, 16 points there. Some solid basketball that you see on tape, but you just don't know why sometimes it can't lead to wins. Maybe, and what I think is something is that sometimes bad teams just find ways to lose games. And they find ways to lose games in many different ways. But what gets you with the Sparks is they're a bad team right now, but they look so close to a good team that sometimes it's a head scratcher to where you don't know, should the players be doing more? Can the coaches be doing a lot better? It's very confusing, but it was just a tough loss tonight.
I think, too, like, I already know what Coach is going to say. He's going to talk about those uncontested baskets that we missed. Those are just opportunities that we missed. Also, I'd like to point out in the first half, the Indiana Fever had 11 turnovers. We didn't convert any points from the turnovers. No points were to be had from those turnovers. We have to take advantage of the low-hanging fruit that's out there, because you will get out-hustled from these teams that are fighting their way into the playoffs. They know what kind of caliber of basketball they need to play. A loss to the Sparks wouldn't hurt them, but they don't want to get in a losing pattern. You know, they wanted the 5th straight win to continue their playoff push, and we gave them an easy way into it.
And at this point of the season, it sucks to say, Sparks fans, I apologize, but the Sparks they're that team that, hey, when we play them, we better win, because, you know, you want to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, because of the teams that are iffy. It can go either way. Sparks are a team that you're supposed to beat, and that's what teams are doing, and that's what happened tonight. But you brought up the turnovers. Sparks actually won 12-18. So that's a positive that we saw. They made 10 threes, more threes, three more than the Fever. They showed a lot of good things, but on the rebounding, they lost 28-40, which was surprising. You think De'Erica, but Aaliyah having 14 and then 10 rebounds for Caitlin Clark, who's just crazy and amazing. But
that's a historic night for Caitlin Clark, y'all. I think she's the only rookie in history to now have scored a triple-double. Which is insane. And I hate that it's always these historic games against the Sparks.
She's just crazy. Put this camera on me, Jeff. I got to say this. For you people out there that are debating any longer about who's the Rookie of the Year, stop it. I love Angel Reese. She plays well. She's beautiful. But on the court this year, she is not Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is clearly the Rookie of the Year. Hell, she might be top 3 in the MVP voting, because she has taken this team from nothing to uplifting them. Even earlier in the year, we were like, hey, what is wrong with the Fever? But Caitlin was balling. Now they're 18-16, playing some great basketball. Caitlin Clark, damn it, is the Rookie of the Year. She should win it unanimously, and that's that.
I think she's gonna win it because she, like you just said, she resurrected the Indiana Fever.
She better.
I mean, an 8-year playoff drought is insane.
No, it's crazy.
Crazy to even think about. So to have this one player,
it's Clipper-like, I should say.
It is, and you know what? I don't want to just give it all to Caitlin. We want to, because she is an outstanding player. But I also want to talk about Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell is playing amazing.
I also want to talk about Aaliyah Boston. That's another #1 pick. Nalissa Smith has gotten better. You know what I mean? A lot of their players. Katie Lou is playing some solid basketball as well, coming off of a baby. So, you know, it's the pieces. Like you said, they found the time to play better basketball, and they're just taking advantage of the moment. And that's really what's happening.
You know, and they have their closer. Caitlin Clark is their closer, so that helps them in a game like tonight, to where you will hope that Rakia, you know, we're going to see, because it didn't look like she played too much down the stretch.
Fourth quarter, I wanted to see her.
Only played 24 minutes. We see what's up with that. But she's somebody that you will hope to get that opportunity to go and close out a game like this, to go from 5 points to maybe 10, you know, points in the fourth quarter alone, where you end up with 15 to 17 points because you score 10 or more. And that's something that I hope, you know, Rakia is looking at Caitlin and seeing the way that she's able to do that, being a closer, because I think that can be a great role for Rakia going forward with her play style, that she can be somebody that you feed the ball to in the fourth, and she gets to the bucket, she makes threes, get to the free throw line and doing stuff like that, because that's what's going to take them to the next level. Because you see Indiana, they have their young players they drafted, now they become what they have. You got Rakia, you got Cam, You got Ray, somebody that this team drafted, and next year they're going to have a draft pick that's very high that you hoping that these pieces can come together to where next year or the year after the Sparks can start looking like what the Indiana Fever is showing.
And let's talk about next year. Like, let's build with Odyssey Sims. I don't know. Hopefully somebody who can give her a contract is watching the game.
Yes.
Let's
and
lock
hopefully
in,
that
my girl.
team is with purple and gold.
It's purple and gold. Let's lock in Odyssey Sims. Let's lock in Ari McDonald. Yep. I like that as a backup, as a
Unless you get Paige Beckers, then stuff change.
Paige also can play the 2.
Yeah, that's
so
part.
think about that. So you can have Odyssey, Paige, Rakia,
Cam, and De'Erica
and Cam.
Yeah.
And then bring Azare off the bench as 6th player of the year.
Man, no,
My God, that is a tall lineup. I think Coach Miller would love to play with a team of that size if it's his system, you know. So if anybody's watching who can
fingers crossed. But, you know, shout out to Odyssey because she's shown up in a tough situation, learning stuff on the fly, and not just learning, but hooping. Yeah. It makes you think. I don't know when she was cut from Dallas, but the Sparks should have got her ASAP.
Like the same day.
Yeah, respect to Crystal Dangerfield. But they should have said, right when she left that team and was walking out, somebody should have texted that phone to her and said, hey, come fly to L.A. We about to put you on because she clearly still can do it.
Yep.
She is balling.
11 seasons in. She's getting buckets.
Buckets, 20-6. But, you know, it's just some solid basketball that's close, but not close enough.
It's frustrating.
And it can be very frustrating for the Sparks fans. But, man, just good basketball. Kudos to the Fever. I wonder what type of numbers they did as far as views because it's L.A. versus Caitlin Clark.
You know, it's a lot of views. And what's crazy is I was watching the game, and the fan experience seems like they was only really clapping when Caitlin was scoring. Yeah. It's like, wow. The crowd is reactive that much to just that one play.
Yeah, and she's Steph Curry. She's Kobe Bryant. She's Michael Jordan. She's LeBron James. She's all these players with everything that she do, and that's why she has that light. And she had too much light and juice for the Sparks tonight. 24, 10, and 10 for Caitlin Clark as the Sparks fall to the Indiana Fever, 86-93. We got more here with the LA Sparks Weekly.
And these are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
You know what it is.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Yo, we back live. Talking about the Sparks, man. We trying to come up with some plans.
Yep.
Trying to come up with what we think can help. Because right now, at 7-26, this season is all but over. Look like they may have the worst record, so may have a chance to have the first overall
we have
pick.
secured the lottery pick
which
by like
is
4 games.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy because at the beginning of the year, I'm thinking like, oh, this team might be squeaking into that 8 seed to where, man, they might have the first overall pick, which you're able to do. But, hey, we're ready. We got coach. We got a couple players. The presser, let's check them out. I'm thinking like, oh, this team might be squeaking into that 8 seed to where, man, they might have
recording
the first
in progress
overall pick, which you're able to do. But, hey, we're ready. We got coach. We got a couple players. The presser, let's check them out. I'm thinking like, oh, this team might be squeaking into that 8 seed to where, man, they might have
recording
the
in
first
progress
overall pick, which you're able to do. But, hey, we're ready.
Super proud of these guys tonight. Thought that we defensively executed a lot of things that we wanted to do throughout the night. I thought that their go-to players stepped up. I thought Aaliyah Boston had a terrific game tonight, gave us some problem with her physicality around the rim, but I thought we did a really nice job at disrupting Caitlin, turning her over, getting the ball out of her hands at times. And so, she had a stat night of a triple-double, which is really impressive. But I thought those 7 turnovers and some other passes that we made very difficult throughout the night, I thought we did a lot of really good things. We just we're a little short. We missed 6 layups, I think, in the fourth quarter. Had a big 3 under a minute and a half to go in the game to tie it, to have some momentum. Had a tough possession after we got a first shot miss after that to maybe have another opportunity to go down and tie it. But then we fouled and they were in the bonus. And so it became a 2-possession game there late and just couldn't get over the hump. But super proud of these guys. Odyssey really continues to lead us from the point guard position. Her 20 points and her consistent effort to attack tonight, get herself into the paint was big for us. And then our bench was big. We had over 30 points off the bench tonight with Kia and Ray really stepping up. Ray had an efficient game tonight and gave us the spark we needed off the bench while they really tried to take away Rakia tonight.
Start with questions for players first. Infanity.
Hey guys, Mike Hill, Matthew here with LA Sparks Weekly. Just, most people are going to talk about Caitlin Clark and what she's able to do, but the play of Kelsey Mitchell protecting her or being around her, just how tough was it to slow her down tonight as she was able to score 18 points to help Caitlin there?
Who wants to take it?
I mean, yeah, just, slippage and within our execution, going under when we should be going over, switching when we're not. But, she's a tough player and she's going to make some hard shots as well. So we just try to stay as solid as possible.
And DJ from Infanity TV, this question is for Odyssey. That first quarter, Indiana had a bunch of turnovers that we couldn't convert into points. Can you talk about like how we took care of the ball and how it affected, our offense to get started off in that first quarter?
I'll say, starting out the game, I think we did pretty well. Our spacing was a little contested. We were a little bit on top of each other, but I think we were solid defensively. Like Coach said, it's just the little things with this group. We just got to buy in and will to be better, everybody together as a group. But the biggest thing is staying together. We got another one, quick turnaround on Friday.
Thank you.
Rashawn.
Hey, Ray, what have you seen lately just in terms of how you've been able to take advantage of the minutes you've gotten?
Yeah, no, I just try to come in and be aggressive. I consider myself a slasher and a shooter, so I just try to come in and, get to the free throw line or maybe get some kicks going out. But really just seeing what the team needs me to do when I come in. And yeah, my teammates also just put me in great positions to finish threes and at the rim and stuff. So honestly, just coming in and trying to get whatever the team needs.
And for Odyssey, at this point, you kind of haven't been with the team for a little bit now. What are some of the things that have come rather seamlessly for you, and what are some things that maybe you're still working on, and just in terms of like incorporating yourself or learning?
I mean, with any team, when you go to a new team, it takes time to get to know your teammates, gel with them, especially players you never played with. So I feel like I got the hang of it as far as the plays, knowing my teammates, knowing where to find them. Just get in the paint as much as I can. That opens everything else up for Ray, Kia, all of the shooters, so they can just knock down standstill threes. So just trying to stay aggressive on the offensive end and play my heart out on defense. Whoever my defensive assignment is, just trying my best to give as much energy as I can because they feed off of me. So just trying to lead this team and we'll win and we'll get it. We just got to keep working.
Thank you.
Asia.
Hi, ladies. This is Asia from Daily Swish. My question to you guys was, do you feel like tonight's defensive performance, do you think that was your best defensive performance yet so far? And do you think you guys will be able to keep this momentum going into the next game?
I mean, we were solid defensively, I'd say for the most part throughout the game. I mean, we were down 3, like Coach said. I mean, Kia knocked down that 3 at the momentum. We had a momentum and we're in the game. I felt like we were in the game the entire time. When they went on a run, thought they stole the momentum and kind of kept it, but we were solid. We had a little slippage defensively, not grabbing the rebounds, just out battled down there, but for the most part, we stayed together. We were right there. It sucks, of course, when a team that feel like we definitely could have beat, but we played solid. We lost by 7, but we're gonna stay with it. We're gonna stay together. Like I said, we gotta keep our head up. On to the next. We play again Friday, so we're gonna work on everything that we need to and practice tomorrow. Try to be better against Chicago.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna need this.
All right, we'll get started with questions for Kurt, first in person.
Coach, when you are trying to kind of get back to contention, get back to those playoffs, do you look at all of what the Fever have done, and they were in a similar boat as you were last year, and just how quickly you can kind of get things turned around?
Yeah, with myself being in the league 10 years now, I have a good perspective and a good lens on how teams have built, through the years, including my tenure when I first got to Connecticut. We were a non-playoff team for the 3 years before I got there. We had one rebuilding year, and then we started where we had that successful run. And I've watched teams that have built through the draft, and you watch, the Aces and what they were like in San Antonio. They moved to Vegas. They continue to have some draft picks, continue to add pieces around those draft picks. now you see it here with multiple draft picks in a row. And you still had Kelsey Mitchell when that all started, and now where the Fever are. And they were a team that was built through the draft. When I went to LA 2 years ago, the focus was kind of putting pieces around NECA, one of the true superstars of the league and a longtime spark. When NECA was leaving in free agency, there was a clear direction to build with youth. And, unfortunately, Cameron Brink's been hurt. We've had a lot of people in and out of our lineup. But Rakia Jackson is a rising star in this league. We still have a lot of players in the prime of their career and taking on larger roles than they've ever had. So, we understand the process and the build. It's almost like our first year because of the direction change and now the youth movement. But super proud of them. We're trying to not let losses that are accumulated bother us in terms of the philosophy of continuing to build, continuing to get better, continuing to do things that put us in position to win. Tonight is frustrating because I thought we did enough to win this game in a lot of areas, but it was little things, offensive rebounds, their second chance points. It was maybe, some spacing issues on plays that we've been running since training camp, and just little things. And with that said, under 90 seconds to go, you have a shot to tie it on the road and put yourself in position to win.
And one more, and you were one of the few teams that saw this Fever team at the beginning of the year, and seeing them now. How different is this team between those kind of 2 or 3 game periods?
Yeah, I watched both games from May, and both teams are so drastically different and have improved so much. It's watching back both May games when we were preparing for this game. It's just jumps off the film, that how much both teams have improved, their tempo, their execution, their confidence. It's as I always say, someone that's been in this league now 10 years. May basketball is not always pretty in the WNBA. And by the time you get to September and October basketball, it's really, really a good product. And right now, teams are playing like that, including us. We are getting better, and certainly the Fever have improved.
Rashawn.
Hey, Coach. Just kind of riding the roller coaster with the young team, right? Like you have the New York win, and then you come back against Atlanta, and you come back, you play, really well tonight, despite not being able to pick up the win. What areas of growth did you see tonight?
Yeah, I thought we tried a different defensive game plan tonight that we hadn't rolled out in recent weeks. And we had one day to prep for that. And I thought our execution, our discipline for the most part was on cue. We didn't always finish to a defensive rebound. Their rebounding hurt us. Aaliyah Boston hurt us inside with her physical presence. But we did so many things that in a short prep, I was really pleased with. And then, offensively, that to have the confidence to step back up and make 10 threes tonight after we just didn't shoot the ball well the other night against Atlanta. They were almost daring us to make threes, and we had a really off night. So for us to step back up and get shoot nearly 40%, we weren't afraid to take threes tonight. We were hunting them and made 10. That's growth with a young team, that they didn't hang their heads and let another one poor shooting night from the arc really snowball into multiple. They stepped back up and made big threes tonight. Maybe one too little, but we made threes tonight.
As a group, do you go back and watch this, or do you immediately flip to Chicago?
Oh, no, we always do some self-scouting. We'll always, be in their ear on growth areas. With a young team, you have to. They have to dig in with film as part of their growth through this hard cadence of games. But we will prepare like crazy and, go directly to practice tomorrow when we leave, and drive up to Chicago, and try to prepare for that quick turnaround game. But you have to at least invest some time with the young team on growth areas, but also give them confidence in a lot of the things that we did do well tonight.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Vanity.
Hey, Coach DJ from Infanity TV. So just piggybacking off everything that you've said here and looking at the stat sheet, very solid game. We're trending upward with this young team. Do you think that in a perfect world, with those uncontested, easy makes around the basket, if we had have made those, that this game outcome would have been different?
Yeah, and again, I don't want them to dwell on it because then you get even more anxious around the rim, but we missed makeable baskets around the rim against a team that doesn't have elite shot blocking. And then, we missed a couple big open threes down the stretch that, again, we'd love to have in this kind of game and could the tide been different? So, proud of them, but, the little things that we keep preaching about, from screening angles to our physicality and box outs to understanding, there's no slippage, that we know their sideline out of bounds plays. We know their baseline out of bounds plays. So, when Kelsey Mitchell scores on a sideline out of bounds play that we have scouted really well, that's disappointing. But, all you can hope with Kelsey, right? She had 18 points on 18 shots. That's, we're getting back to that, okay, like as long as we try to make her inefficient, wasn't quite as inefficient as we wanted, but it's creeping that direction in order to have success. It was Aaliyah that her efficiency tonight was a difference maker.
Hey, Coach, and just two quick questions. First question, when it comes to Rakia tonight, they made it really tough for her. What do you think they did to kind of take her away, and what things can she learn from a game like tonight? And then the second question will be, you've been coaching, women's basketball for quite some time now. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, just what do you think makes her so special? And have you ever seen a player that was kind of similar to what she does?
I will first say that, the great thing, and I grabbed Rakia briefly after the game tonight, she's earned this attention. She's earned, the asterisk in the scouting report that she's the go-to player, that she can really score the basketball. So there's super attention to her. And, it's a huge credit, like Caitlin gets that as a rookie. Rakia now gets that as a rookie. There's very few that get the asterisk that they're the go-to player, and they're the centerpiece and center of attention for scouting reports. So these are all learning lessons for Rakia, and I told her, like, it is frustrating it is in the moment that she feels like there's no spacing and that everybody's coming at her and showing her lots of congestion and lots of bodies. She's earned that right. So first, take it as a compliment, and then learn from it. Like, how can she make it easier on herself? And, I thought they were giving her a lot of attention, and maybe she could share it, and maybe her shot attempts would creep down tonight. I mean, she got 11 shots in 23 minutes. If she creeps back up to the 28, the 30, 32, 35 minutes that we've been playing her lately, like, is that a night where she gets 16 shot attempts? But her attention on her, could she have found a couple easier baskets for us while she still hunts and we still try to get her the ball and get her the touches that we need to get her? But she'll learn so much from tonight and what she's going to see the last 7 games. She is going to see this kind of attention. She's earned it. She is a rising star in this league. And these are the kind of games she has to go through and learn how to play through, because of the attention she's earned. That's the great news. She's earned all this.
Thank you, Kurt.
And I forget what the second question
was.
was.
The second question is, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, to see the type of player that she is, with you coaching, women's basketball for so long, have you seen any player that you can kind of compare her game to? And what special things does she do that kind of stands out that maybe for us with the ordinary eye can't see, that you coaches who've been in the game a while can see?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to say anything that you haven't heard. I mean, she is elite, and she is one special player. Things that stand out to me that have been around the game for 35 years, she plays with great pace. She plays with a great tempo. first. She is an elite passer. She is an elite passer. She sees things before they develop. And she can really read things. That's why for us to turn her over 7 times and maybe have some other passes that might have been turnovers attributed to a bad catch or so, was impressive for us tonight because she is an elite passer of the basketball. So that's what makes her special. Everyone talks about the logo threes. To me, what that does is she got incredible range, but it just opens up the floor for everybody else. That logo range opens up the floor. And so you're always have to be guarding her, and you always have to be giving her attention. She's really special. I don't have a lot of comps. I have different breakdowns of people within her game, but she has it all. When Sue Bird was in her prime, Sue Bird played with incredible pace. Like, one of the things that probably didn't get talked about enough is how fast Sue Bird was when she was in her prime. I got to coach Becky Hammond when, she was in college. And Becky Hammond had such a unique ability to put the ball in the basket. It just, like, when she got open and got any kind of space, you just counted it. She just was not going to miss a lot of open shots. Now, Becky didn't play necessarily with the pace that Caitlin, but she, had the unique ability to create space and get shots off and make shots, played with change of pace. So I see, elements of Caitlin that I got to witness firsthand with the opportunity to coach Becky Hammond in her career. Other things, just continue to, other people, like Caitlin's got great size. Like, she's going to just grow at the defensive end as her career goes on because she's got length and size, and she'll just become better and better at that end. So she's a special player, and we are really, really fortunate to have her in our league.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, man. He said everything I said. I would like to point out when I'm right. You know what I mean? He really talked about those uncontested shots, our defense, the turnovers, because we did win on the turnovers. If we could have converted any of those to points, we only lost by 7. It was a close game in the 4th. There was a point we were only down by 3. He also mentioned that open 3-pointer that we could have made, could have, should have, would have.
Yeah. But
we are trending upward, playing against a team who's already clinched a spot in the playoffs. You take what you get at this point.
And he said something really big for me about Rakia. He talked about Rakia's game and that people are starting to say, hey, she can hoop. We need to make sure we guard her, not just one-on-one, but as a team, we have to be ready. And I think that's what she is going to really be able to learn these last 7 games is what it feels like to be a number 1 option and having to come perform every night. Because you hear a lot of the greats that were great scorers in the girls' game, women game, and men's game is that when you're a great scorer, it's not about one-on-one. You should know that you're already going to beat this person. What about the help defense and knowing where they are going to be? And that's what you're going to see the next step of her game. And also what he mentioned was passing.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to see more from Rakia. Yes, of course, I want to see them 18 to 30-point games. But what about 22 points, 6 assists with 6 rebounds? Like having more of a complete game. And I know she's young, but it can happen. We see it with Caitlin Clark. We see it with Caitlin Clark when coaches talking about with Caitlin, mentioning all the things that she's able to do. She's a rookie that's able to adjust. We're hoping that Rakia can do that and learn because I'm telling you, if she can figure this out, next year she is going to be a monster that everybody in the WNBA is going to have to deal with. And with a returning Cam, with a potential first overall pick, with the players that they're going to have returning back, the Sparks can have a chance to be a problem. But she needs to, Rakia Jackson, take these last 7 games and say, hey, I am a number 1, and I'm going to use these 7 games to learn how to be a number 1, to dominate my one-on-one matchups and make sure that I can make players better around me.
Yep. Agreed. Totally agree. And I think she's going to take it personal.
Yeah,
which
she better.
I love because Rakia is a winner.
Yes.
She only cares about winning. on the press conference, she wasn't looking too happy.
Yeah.
She looking like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm going to answer y'all little questions. But, you know, I'll be as positive as possible. But she wants the W. She always does. So that's something that, again, that Mamba mentality. You always want to be the best version of yourself over and over, game after game, and Rakia's got that.
And I appreciate that dog in her, but, you know, I'm hoping that all of these defeats don't, you know, rub on her, that she realized you're learning, you're building through this year. You got players around you, some vets. Hopefully they're teaching them and like, hey, let's look at Indiana. Because we saw what they were last year where they were a laughing stock. Now look at them. You have to respect them, and you have to bring your A game to beat them. And the Sparks just couldn't do it tonight. But before we go, Sparks fans, we always do this. We give you our player of the game. And we're going to start with you, DJ. Who is your player of the game for the Sparks tonight?
You know, I'm going to give it to Odyssey Sims. I was in between Odyssey and Azare because Azare was, you know, honorable mention for her. That three ball is good. Z, you killing it.
3 for 6.
It matters to put the ball in the hoop. And when we were at Crypto at the last home game, we had a chance to talk to Odyssey. And, you know, she was talking about the importance of getting buckets. And that's what she's done. You know, finding a way to put the ball in the hoop is important to add to that point differential, to get us closer to those wins. So we talk about all these little things that can be done. Scoring, being aggressive in the scoring, taking it to the rim, you know. So big shouts out to Odyssey Sims for dropping 20 on the Indiana Fever. She's my player of the game.
And, you know, I got to give a shout-out to De'Erica, 16, 5, and 7, to Azare, who had 13 points, 11 assists. But I'm going to go to the bench, and I'm going to go to the one and only Ray Burrell, who looked like, you know, I wasn't at the game, but it looked like she might have a future in TV someday. But she came out 16 points, 3 for 5 from 3. Just her energy, the way that she moves without the ball, the way that she runs the floor, plays defense. She looks like a prototypical piece to a potential championship team. I'm hoping that the coaching staff sees that. I'm hoping that the fans see how special that Ray is. And when she's knocking down shots, getting the minutes that she's getting now, it's just building her confidence to where she's going to be a player that if you put her in the right role as that prototypical 3-and-D player that can do a little more, she can have a long career in the WNBA and hopefully here with the LA Sparks. But DJ, we tired of talking about this loss, tough loss against Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever, 93-86. Caitlin Clark, 24, 10, and 10. Double-double for Aaliyah Boston. Kelsey Mitchell with 18 points as well. But, hey, you got to move on. Got to put this in the past. They got the Chicago Sky coming. Angel Reese, you go from one super rook to another. What are you looking forward to with the Sparks and Chicago Sky matchup?
I think we got it. got it. To be honest.
Guarantee?
I not guarantee. I feel very strongly. Okay? Because here's the thing. Chicago Sky have slid. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak right now. Carter has been out. They've been playing pretty frustrated. Cardoza has been getting into a lot of foul trouble. We have a lot of opportunities to capitalize on what we do best, playing big. I would like to see a lot from Lee Yarou. I want to see Azare shoot the ball like she's been shooting the ball. I think that we have a chance to catch Chicago slipping and, you know, kind of knock them out of that 8th spot for the playoffs. I think Atlanta's going to take that 8th
They
spot.
lost 7 straight games, actually.
7. I thought it was 5.
Without having Kennedy, who was like 15 points a game. She was their fire starter.
She their closer.
You know, and their closer as well because you need a really good guard. You know, they made the trade earlier in the year. Things just aren't falling into place for them. And can I say guarantee? I guarantee you the Sparks going to show up. Rakia's going to want to bounce back. She going to be ready to go. And they're going to find a way Friday night, Chi-Town, to go and pick up a victory. So remember I said this, LA Sparks world, WNBA world, the Sparks will make it happen on Friday night. And I can't wait to see it because we're going to be back here in studio to talk about what happened in the game.
Yep.
DJ, any final words before we get out of here?
Make sure y'all watch the game on Ion. It's Friday nights on Ion, all WNBA. So that's where it's at before you hit us up on Twitter asking about that.
Yeah, and make sure you follow everything that we're doing with LA Sparks Weekly. DJ Tracy Treese, Michael Matthew here, a.k.a. Michael the PG on social media. Tap in, show love. We got you covered, Spark fans. Tell everybody else, your mom, your dad, your granny, cousin, sister, brother, auntie, whoever, that we got you covered here with LA Sparks Weekly. Catch you next time.